Goodness gracious. Blackburn George is on a rant. Unhappy with the football, with Arsenal, and with Arteta. Despite Arsenal's defeat of Sheffield United on Sunday, he sees nothing to celebrate. In his opinion, after 18 months under Arteta, there has been no improvement at Arsenal. Football fans, welcome to the April 13th edition of the Positively Uncensored Arsenal podcast. I am your host, Shatta, with my usual partner, Blackburn George, the Arse Blogger. Stay tuned for more. Blackburn George, my friend, we are off schedule, and I must apologize to our few, but George, very loyal listeners. Mainly, I've had some serious personal issues, which really prevented us from recording this some earlier than we wished. But we are here, George, and so happy to see you. The restrictions in Britain have been lifted, and I'm seeing the brand new Blackburn George, and you look like, well, I think you look 1,000 times better than Boris Johnson, George. That haircut, that shave, you were looking like a hobo before. Now you're looking like a real gentleman. Welcome to the Positively Uncensored Arsenal podcast, people. Blackburn George is a new man. How are you, my friend?
Miserable.
After the barber? Come on, man.
Yeah, I look better, but I feel worse.
Oh, boy. Tell me why.
Rich, I'm losing all interest in football. I watched the game the other night, and I'd already watched 3 games during the afternoon, one after the other, waiting for the Arsenal game.
Right.
And it was of such a lack of interest. I was falling asleep. I was having to get up and walk around the room to stop myself falling asleep. Not because I was tired, just because I can't be bothered watching it. Mm-hmm. I want to enjoy football. Arsenal used to be a lot of fun for me. I used to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Now it's a chore and everything's so fucking miserable, and it's just, I don't know where to go with it. I'm becoming one of those fuckers that I sit there and I'm like Bruce Banner, all quiet, and all of a sudden somebody mentions Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, and I feel like this rage coming in me. I'm turning into the Incredible Hulk. I want to smash things up. It's fucking horrible at the moment. I've sort of given up. I don't know what to do.
But George,
I'm at my wit's end.
But George, we're 9th. We may even end up at 7th. Come on, it's not the end of the world. Arsenal has been mid-table in 4 years. Those last 22 years at being at the top table doesn't matter. We can go down and we can take our fans down with us and they'll be back there. That's what I read on Twitter.
Oh, don't get me started about what you read on Twitter. Fucking hell, that's something else that's doing my brain in. I see people, it's defending Arteta and defending the position we're in and defending this and standing up for that and fighting for fucking Arteta, like he's done something to earn this respect and gratitude. There's some people fucking thankful that we've got him. Thankful that we're in fucking mid-table and playing. It's not the mid-table. I can live with that. It's the playing like shit.
Well, George.
And we played Sheffield fucking United, the worst team in the league by a distance. They've won 4 games all season. Not only were they a horrible, poor team to get in that position, but since the manager's left, Chris Wilder, they've got worse.
With a guy called...
And they were particularly bad against us. They were dreadful. And then you see people saying, oh, we're back, Oh,
I
what the
call it.
fuck? What
Well,
the fuck?
as thinking about this podcast, George, I said we were flipping at we were flipping at Sheffield in a flip flop season. But you know, what else would you expect? I mean, in his pregame and even in his pregame, let me just say, focus on that. And I need to give him credit for the entire season. I mean, I've had to. He knows he like you has found it harder and harder. But Shard Guna does my previews, and he expected 3 points. And he was dying to see some football. But George, I didn't see the football that I would expect from Arsenal. This is a team we should be ripping apart.
Well, honestly, when you've got a team with Callum Chambers
That's right, man.
and Granit Xhaka as your fullbacks, dominating another team, you know how bad that other team is. And they're not bad players. I think Xhaka's our best player. But the fact that he's not going to overlap, he's not going to be running down the wing, crossing the ball in.
Correct.
He's playing in that hybrid left back, centre back position, moving into midfield that he's played in several times this season. And I'm watching it, and I'm saying they're saying as if it's a novel thing. Nobody's seen this before. Oh, Xhaka at left back. We've seen it.
Right.
If he's not actually officially the left back, half the time that's the position he's in because Tierney's down the fucking field.
Yes.
Spamming balls into the fucking area for nobody to get on the end of. And it's just a reflection on how bad Sheffield United were that we can play two of the slowest players moving forward that we've got and look good. Goodness sake. Ceballos had a good game.
I was going to mention that, George.
Thomas Partey. Oh, he's dominating midfield. No, he wasn't dominating midfield. He was dominating an empty field. There was nobody there to face up to him. He was getting all the time and space in the world. He wasn't dominating anybody. It was fucking crap. They were awful. They were shit. And I'll get enthusiastic. I love to get enthusiastic if we play well. Maybe like we did against Chelsea. That was a decent performance. Mm-hmm. I can get behind that but don't fucking put the worst team in the league in front of me, playing at the worst, and tell me we played well. We didn't hardly create anything. We scored 3 goals, and that's good. We'd be good. We score 3 goals every time, but we weren't exactly peppering them with attacking play and invention. It was awful.
Well,
to think that we've split so far.
There's a moment here, people. There is our usual interruption. Cookie has decided to
I have to
intervene.
throw Cookie out the fucking room.
I know that. I just told the audience, George.
and I kicked her up the arse as she was going. That's how annoyed I am with things at the moment. I'm taking it out my dog and my wife and anybody who walks past the house. I'm shouting at them. I don't know. I'm losing the plot. I'm becoming that guy. I'm becoming that man that just is angry all the fucking time.
Yes,
and it's Arsenal that's doing it because everything else in my life's fine. I'm having an easy time with lockdown. Yeah. Don't have to take the wife out because there's nowhere to go. It's fucking marvellous. But Arsenal do my head in. Do my friend.
George, I'm glad you mentioned it because, Ceballos, who was been a total disaster against Liverpool. We went down in class. Like in horse racing where you take a horse down in class. Yeah. He looked like a bloody thoroughbred. He back-heeling into Lacazette, and I was like, yes, Ceballos, you've gotten your level here. Hey, that was like Do people understand what is really going on here?
We, you're right. We've entered Shergar into a donkey derby, and we're bragging that it's won it.
Yes, and and similarly, I mean, Partey, even though he had this, and I'm not picking on him, people, but stop thinking that he's the next greatest thing. Even against this team, his passing percentage was in the 80s. This, this is, you're not picking on him, but he's not under any pressure, but his passing is horrible. Yes, he had. So people then start saying, well, he made this big assist, he dropped his shoulder, and then he put a through ball through the last goal. Remember that one, George? But
Yeah,
don't get carried away.
£50 million.
Yes.
He's had a good game against Manchester United and played a through ball to Lacazette in 12 months. Fucking hell.
You're right.
You would think for £50 million he should be doing that and a lot more. And that ball, it was a beautifully weighted ball.
Right.
But if you look there's a camera angle that shows Lacazette making the run.
Yes.
And there's a channel as wide as the English Channel
yes.
for him to pass it through.
Yes.
He's not threaded it through the eye of a fucking needle. He's kicked it through a channel with no fucking opposition players anywhere near it. Yeah. But he's got the weight right. And he's got the direction right. And it's a good pass.
Right.
But, it's not fucking Pirlo, is it? You know what I mean?
It's not Cesc Fabregas. It's not a Cesc Fabregas through ball through a maze of defenders, which was done repeatedly. That's when what should we call it? Oh God, why did his name just leap out of my mind? The fella from Togo, Adebayor, was able to lash onto and score practically 30 goals that year, George. That was not, please, people, this is, I keep saying, chalk and cheese. Stop, and then people saying, oh, we have found the next best thing. It blew my mind. The comments on Twitter blow my mind. It's like, don't you see that we are. Don't. This is the team that will be relegated this weekend, most likely. That's the team we met.
Seriously, they're one of the worst teams the Premier League has ever seen this season.
Right.
They've been awful. And it's all right saying, you can only beat what's in front of you. That's true. But when what's in front of you is absolute garbage, you better fucking beat them.
Right.
I've seen people talking on Twitter recently and writing blogs and doing podcasts saying, it was a tactical masterclass and how this player was doing that and moving into this space. We could have turned out any 11 players against that team and won comfortably.
Should have.
Employing any tactics, not giving them any tactics, just picking a team and saying, just go out there and play. Yes. They would have beaten Sheffield United. It's not good enough that we're feeding off such scraps that we're all excited about beating a team that's only won 4 games all fucking season. It's outrageous.
That's how low standards have fallen.
This is the level we've dropped to. And people will tell you, Arteta's doing a good job. Let's have a look at the job Arteta's doing for a minute or two, right?
Right.
And see where these people are coming up. They'll make statements. He's improving us, right? They can see improvement. That's the statement that I keep hearing. They can see improvement. Okay, so let's ask, where do you see improvement? Who has improved? Which players have improved? Which positions have improved? Which way of playing is better? Leno. We had Leno and Martinez. Martinez is a superior goalkeeper to Leno. Arteta let him go and we got that who was it? Ruderson.
Runerson.
Ruderson.
Who was a kid.
He's that bad.
Yeah.